I think there are various aspects of women in leadership. There's leadership at the community level, where women in different cultures have had to really assert themselves to have a voice in terms of leadership in development in our communities. And then of course there's leadership at the political level and at the highest level of offices. And I think that some people may have aspirations for it, others are called to it, and it's how one serves is the most important factor in my view. I think that we've done well in some aspects. I'm particularly proud of the fact that we have a president in the Pacific, the President of the Republic of Marshall Islands, President Hilda Heine, who's been an example for all of us. We have the Deputy Prime Minister, Fiame Matafa in Samoa, which is really also a great inspiration. But that is very few, and of course we have Prime Minister Ardern now in New Zealand. But that is not a lot at the highest echelons of political leadership. But we have really good experience, I think, in women, particularly in many public services of our governments, also in civil society and in communities. And I think the challenges for women is balancing family and community responsibilities and holding true to what they want to see in terms of the development of the country that they lead, or the community that they lead, and the demands on their own personal life. But I'm also very disappointed that in some countries we have no representation at any political level, and that is very, very disheartening. And the cost of running for an election at national level politics is just beyond many people, and particularly amongst a lot of women. I think that we talk a lot about leadership to our young women. What we've got to give young women are the skills to be able to manage their lives, manage their families, and be very competent in what they do. And there will be opportunities where they'll be called to leadership, and how they adapt to that so that they are skilled and confident to be able to do that. I think why women's leadership is so very important for the Blue Pacific continent is this, that we are very much a part of the Pacific family. We play different roles to our male partners, our brothers, our husbands, the political leadership that is dominated by men, and that is just fact, it's not an assertion. But we see things differently. We're very focused on bringing people together to finding solutions. And I know it's very much a part of the Pacific in terms of consensus, talanoa, coming together to solve problems. But I think if you see where women have led countries, there are very pragmatic approaches, but very concerned about benefits and distribution, and making sure that their leadership means that a broader sector of society benefits. And that's why I think that our role is really very important, and that we value what we have in terms of our families and our communities, and that we will make sure that they are protected and our region will be protected. Well, I think it's a responsibility we all have, that by example we show that, especially to our young women and the next generation, is that you can do it. And are there sacrifices? Of course there are sacrifices. But over time it will become easier, and young women will have an opportunity as they mature to contribute, have a voice, and contribute to the development of our region, the Blue Pacific continent. But I think that to just generally say to young people, and I see this, is that, you know, you're a young and emerging leader. Well, not everybody will lead. Some people will lead, others will work with leadership. That is part of, I think it's a process that emerges with each personality. Some people are just natural leaders, others are not, but others are great supporters and workers that make things happen in the community, and everybody has a valuable role. Well, my own role, I never really sat down and worked it all out. I've been very fortunate that opportunities have been given to me, and I think I came from a family that was very strong about concern for others and giving me an opportunity to really prepare myself in terms of my own education. I was also educated by a group of Catholic sisters, nuns, who were very committed to the education of women and also to women having a voice, women have to be articulate. So all those things in my childhood and in my years of high school prepared me for challenges that were given to me by my community, but also by my government to serve as in senior positions. And now I'm here in this position as Secretary General of the Pacific Island Forum. A responsibility that I take very seriously, that my life and what I do and achieve can be an example to many young women, that there will be many female Secretary Generals in the future. Education is important, and be very disciplined and focused in what you want to achieve. Now, was I disciplined and focused in my first and second year at university? Absolutely not. I almost failed law school. But I think for a lot of young women, not just in the Pacific but worldwide, it's about a real sense of valuing themselves and what they can contribute, and not being distracted by a lot of frivolity. I know people think that sometimes I'm far too serious, but I think life is a serious business, and if you have aspirations or think that you want to make a contribution in your community, you've got to take life seriously, and you've got to also prepare yourself for it. Doesn't mean you don't go out and party and have a good time with your friends, but you've got to be very focused, get involved in your community, understand what their needs are, participate, contribute, and build that knowledge from where you come from. You won't get it from anywhere else. You can go internationally and come back, but if you really want to contribute at home, you've got to know what's making the difference back in your own community.